Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. In this episode, we need to go back to Space Paranoids, but first we need to make a pit stop right here at this treasure chest. In here, we're going to get the ukulele charm, which allows us to summon Stitch, and I know I really haven't used the summons too much, but hopefully I'll get to that in the next few episodes. But let's go ahead and access this computer right here and return to the pit cell and see if we can help out Tron a little bit. Whoosh, I wonder where Tron is. Don't touch that. Uh-huh. Goofy. I didn't do it.
Well, I didn't touch nothing.
Welcome to the game grid.
Game grid?
That's right. You've been chosen to play a few games. Lose and you will be subject to immediate de-resolution. Win? Well... no one wins.
We're not gonna play your games.
You have no choice.
Well then, get on with it.
I've always really loved Sora's response right there, like, let's get on with it. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, because we are on a Tron-esque motorcycle, ready to play Light Cycle, which this minigame always reminds me of that one part of the AVGN episode where he reviews Deadly Discs or whatever, but really all you gotta do in this part is take out 5 Heartless.
All right, it looks like we can escape through there.
Alright, this is gonna be easy. The exit is just right there. All we gotta do is, oh no, we gotta go around the entire battlefield, or whatever you want to call this, like the game board, just to get right back around there and go in that hole. This one is significantly harder than the first one, mainly because there's a bunch of different types of Heartless, and they all do different sort of attacks like that. Like that one has that little green attack. We actually have a green attack of our own that we can use like a shield almost, and I never really used that attack until the very end of the course here. There's going to be 2 purple things guarding that exit, and I always, for like tradition, do the green shield when I go right through that because it blocks all their projectiles and stuff. But anyway, you gotta not run into the wall like that or you'll lose a lot of HP. Losing your HP is probably... Actually, I think that's really the only way you can lose this, is losing all your HP. But it seems like this is much harder than it should have been. But I do like this minigame. It's kind of like the most different minigame in the entire game, I guess you could say. But the one thing that makes it hard, I guess, is when they put a whole bunch of Heartless on you as you're about to go into a corner. For some reason that like messes with my mind a little bit, and I can't decide if I should go ahead and try and hit the Heartless that are right next to me or turn. And then the other thing is they put you in these really small hallways like this. If I die, I'm going to be extremely frustrated, but we're almost at the end. I can't believe how close I am to dying right now. If I die this close to the end, I might just have to never play this game again. But here's where we're going to be getting into that purple thing, and if we just shield right here, we're going to be able to get through just fine.
Tron!
I don't understand. Why are you here?
We came to give you the password.
Why didn't you just transmit the data?
Transmit?
Hey, are you okay?
I'll be all right once we access the DTD.
Alright, so there are a bunch of boss fights coming up, kind of like one and then a bigger fight that we gotta worry about. I really kind of put this off in the last episode, not going through the inventory and doing all the inventory management and stuff, so I gotta do that right now. There's not really that much to do, but I do want to go ahead and equip Oathkeeper just because it actually is a little bit weaker than Hero's Crest, and Hero's Crest I kind of like more almost in some ways, but of course I don't remember actually if I said that, but I got Donald's Shaman's Relic as a random drop a little while back, I believe while I was grinding in the Pride Lands from a Shaman, which would make sense, it's a Shaman's Relic. Otherwise, though, really all I'm doing is going through and getting rid of new symbols, which you guys know, for some reason, I just don't like to have in the menu. But Limit Form levels up or gets an XP every time you do a finishing move, and Master Form levels up every time you get a Drive Orb, and of course we got Stitch in this episode, actually. But the Drive Orb, you used to be able to exploit this in the Land of Dragons, be able to, basically, if you got rid, I think I talked about this before, you could attack those cards that blow up, and then you could leave the screen and come back, and you would have, those would respawn, and you would be able to continually go in and kill or destroy the cards, leave and come back, and just keep getting the Drive Orbs, and that would be a really easy way of leveling up the Master Form. That apparently wasn't good enough to leave in the game. Apparently they didn't want to leave that in there so you could level up Master Form really easily. I don't know why though, because they have a new ability I think in Final Mix. It's like Money Converter or something like that. Instead of dropping money, they drop Drive Orbs, so it's really easy either way. But we need to come up here and access this computer and access the data space. Alright, what's the password? Well, Belle, Snow White, Aurora, Alice, Jasmine, Cinderella, Kyrie. Kyrie, got it. That did it! Now switching DTD over from hibernation to active mode. This process will take some time. Please enjoy a game while the process is running. Oh no! Not another game! No, it's the DTD's final security routine. This isn't a game. Stay focused. It really is not a game, but it is still very, very easy. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn into Limit Form, which, by the way, I probably mentioned this at one point. Limit Form is a Final Mix exclusive form that puts you in, you can't really tell right now, but it gives you Sora's clothes from the first game. It's kind of like it harkens back to the first game a little bit, but as far as this minigame goes, all you gotta do is fill up that energy bar up there in the top left and freeze all three of the computers. But also, Limit Form, I forgot to mention, can use a lot of abilities like Sonic Blade from the first game, Ragnarok, Ars Arcanum, and the other one is Strike Raid, so it has a lot of really powerful attacks. But over here is our final computer, and I will have completed the minigame. We get an HP increase here, which, like I said, is always good, especially on critical.
I'm as good as new. All my functions have been restored.
Oh boy!
Finally, I have full access to the DTD. My takeover of the system is now complete. I might have anticipated such a simple password. What's this? An emergency destruct program for the town. Let's see how it performs.
No.
Program, you changed the password.
There, that should buy us some time.
Tron, tell us what's going on.
The MCP's loading a hostile program into the I.O. tower.
What do we do?
We've got to protect the user town. Let's head to the tower.
And we get Tron's new ability, which is a limit, actually. Not technically, I guess you could call that an ability, because it really is. But the limit break, by the way, this is probably a good time to mention this. The limits in this game are not actually limit breaks. I'm pretty sure limit breaks are things like in, for instance, 358, if you get too low on HP, you can use a limit break. But in this game, limits are really not the same thing as a limit break. Usually, I guess limit breaks are like a final ditch thing, but a limit is just a stronger attack. I'm not even really sure what the difference is, or even if there really is a difference between the two, or if they're just kind of the same thing. But here we have a purple enemy that we first saw in the light cycle mini game. I'm pretty sure the name of this Heartless is the Devastator, and when it's paired with those wind enemies that we first saw in Halloween Town, I don't actually remember the name of those either, it can be pretty devastating, so it has a really fitting name, I guess. But apparently we're getting a cutscene here. It must be total chaos outside. I think there's gonna be trouble inside, too. There will be trouble inside, but first we need to collect these 2 treasure chests back here. I said treasure chests very strangely there. But here we're getting a Gaia belt, which apparently greatly increases defense, but I'm pretty satisfied with the equipment that we have equipped right now, especially since I went through the trouble to synthesize some of it in the last episode, or a couple episodes back, so I'm not going to equip it right now. But if we come over here and try to access this computer, it looks like we would be able to leave, but back here, if we come in the room we were just in a few seconds ago, there's going to be a boss fight that we should take care of probably before we leave.
I'm disappointed in you, program. Why do you insist on allying with these selfish users?
Because I want to help them. Something written into my code commands me to do what is right.
Really? And what command would that be?
I can't really say for sure.
Friends, they help each other, that's all. Uh-oh, look out!
And here we have the hostile program. I'm going to go over here and use the setup limit break that I talked about before. Tron's new ability. It does a lot of damage against this enemy, especially with the burst pulse and the cluster code. You got to be pretty much right next to it for it to do much damage. But the finishing move of this limit break is extremely good, and it drops a lot of the energy balls for you, which, by the way, if you fill up the energy bar, just like that one thing that we already did, you can freeze the hostile program, and apparently it's not all the way full, even though it looks full. So if I can get in here and get a couple of more hits on him, I'll probably be able to get enough to fill up the bar entirely. I was gonna say, where is my freeze command? But if when you use the freeze command, it literally entirely freezes the enemy, and you can come over here and just wail on him. I'm pretty sure there's a damage cap, though. Like, yeah, I was gonna say, it only lets you damage him so much before it completely puts a halt to your efforts, which I don't mean to complain, but in games like this, if the enemy is not moving and I'm hitting him and he's not blocking me, I don't feel like that you should be able to completely negate my attacks, if you know what I'm trying to say. The same thing happened in the Oogie Boogie fight, and I don't know what happened to my ether right there. I thought I used one, but apparently not. But the reason that I wanted to use an ether in the first place is to get enough MP to use Tron's limit yet again. I'm pretty sure one more round of using Tron's limit is going to be enough to take him out, and apparently if he's floating like that, the limit is almost entirely useless, but luckily the reprogrammed finishing move will still be able to attack him, and I really love this limit break for some reason. I don't know if I made that clear, and it looks like those clusters are just completely dominating the hostile program. I forgot that it actually did that. I don't even know if I'm going to need to attack him, but I might as well anyway. And for defeating the hostile program, we get our drive gauge powered up to 5, and based on the capitalization of that ability name right there, a new Final Mix exclusive ability called Round Break.
really owe you one. With all my functions up and running, I think I've got a chance of getting system control away from the MCP. Now, I'd better get to work. It's what my user would want.
What Ansem would want. Listen, Tron. We didn't get the password from Ansem. We just sort of found it, back in the user world, by accident. And one more thing, Ansem, he was our enemy. I mean, he still is, I guess.
Well, actually, he's my enemy, too.
What do you mean?
Ansem took Encom's original system and customized it for his own use. I was part of the original system, and Ansem modified me, too. So, that makes him my user. But Ansem is also the one who brought back the MCP. The Ansem I first knew wouldn't do that. I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
That's okay, but now I really don't get it.
I don't understand it either. But I think users like you are going to be the ones who will finally figure it out. You have the ability to take illogical routes and still arrive at the answers you seek. Now go, before the MCP starts acting up again.
And with that, we've done pretty much everything for right now anyway that we can do in Space Paranoid, so let's go ahead and use this terminal to return to the research lab.
Any data you need from the DTD can be accessed directly through my user's terminal. I'll keep a dedicated access channel open for you. I changed the password, so you won't have to worry about the MCP for a while.
Access channel?
I knew you'd ask. It's a very important link between our worlds. It's how we stay connected. You, my friends, are the new password.
Thanks, Tron. Take care.
You too, and give my best to the users.
Well, that's that.
Look.
Tron, hang in there.
So, where do we start?
I know. Let's access the DTD.
The King's checking the situation in town. He'll be back soon, so don't worry. Hey, look. It's asking for a password.
That's easy. It's...
Sora!
Donald!
Goofy!
That's... to the point.
Well,
That did it. We're in. I have to go into town. Need to see what that last shakeup did.
you're not gonna check out the data? It wasn't exactly easy to get.
I'm coming right back. Hey, Sora. Why don't you get started unloading the data and copying it down? It's just a few keystrokes. Easy, right?
You know, it may just be a few keystrokes, but then again, I don't remember signing up for the accounting job. But that does sound like a job for the next episode, so I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and I hope to see you guys back for the next episode.